Ken Doherty. And right now it's the man who won in 2010 who is leading this contest. 3-1, that was the score at their mid-session interval. And we're going to join that match on table 2 right now because they're back after enjoying a brief respite from the fray. And where we are, that's the situation. No points on the board just yet in frame 5. So let's get there live now with Terry Griffiths and Willie Thorne.
Thank you, Hazel. Good afternoon again, everybody. And this has been a protracted amount of good safety, actually, at the opening part of this frame. And there's been some wonderful safety. And as you can see, that Ken Doherty has eventually won the safety battle. Neil Robertson went for a longish red and missed it by quite a considerable margin. The red went back into baulk. And you join us now with Ken in with a chance of scoring quite heavily. Pink out of commission, but in a couple of shots' time, I'm sure the black will be back in commission. It's been a wonderful match. I know you've seen a couple of the frames with us earlier on, and Neil Robertson made a break of 38 in winning frame 3, which was superb. I mean, it was 6 reds, 6 colours, yellow, green, brown and blue to pinch the frame. And Ken Doherty, as I'd mentioned earlier on in commentary, perhaps should have at least shared the first 4 frames. Really needs to make this chance count.
6.
Well, here is the chance, as Willie mentioned, to bring the black into play. Might have been a little bit on the straighter side, but not a shot you'd expect him to miss.
14.
Ken, of course, made that 104 in the second frame with a
15.
possible maximum on. Made a 41 in the previous frame, which he lost, of course, to a 74 from Neil Robertson. Apart from that, he hasn't made anything substantial. Not the type of player, Ken, to go into the pack and spread them all over the table like most of the modern day players do. He likes to pick a few off, small cannons, dislodge 1 or 2 reds. That's his style.
23.
Which has served him well over the years, of course, especially here at the Crucible Theatre.
So once again, okay, he's on a couple, but they're awkward. Whenever you go into a pack slow, there's every chance the white's going to stick on a red, as has done there. Now, if you can imagine that white had finished another inch over to the left, it would have been even more hampered queuing. But Ken's break build's a bit different to most. But he's got these balls in a position now where he'll be disappointed if he doesn't win the frame.
Six.
Can you be very comfortably here playing in the World Championship at the Crucible? He's, of course, won it in 1997. And runner-up to John Higgins, 98. Lost 18-12 there. And, of course, he was runner-up to Mark Williams as well in 2003. Another close match, 18-16.
44. 45. 50. 52. 53.
Perfectly set now. He's done all the hard work.
$58. 59.
You almost forget how good a player Ken Doherty was. You haven't seen too much of him over the last 3 years on the television stages of tournaments. He's been struggling a little bit with his form, but having watched him today, you realise he's still a very, very capable player.
65.
Yes, he's always been known for his safety game, but he had the temperament, of course. He wouldn't have been so successful if he didn't, and he couldn't score well on his day.
Won't be too happy with that shot.
70.
Played to come right hand into open play for the red that's nearest the pink spot. He's not on that one now, but the fact that he leads by 70 points should be enough. He'd like to get one more red to stop Neil coming back to the table.
And Doherty, 70.
It's amazing how many times you see that shot missed when they played slow. If he's playing down for the blue, you would have definitely potted that. I don't know what it is, the players, you can't commit to the stroke really, playing it that gentle over distance and not comfortable with it.
Eight. 9.
Unless he knocks this long one in, this will definitely be the end of frame. Neil won't come back to the table now. So a good frame from Ken Doherty. He did what he had to do, get the opening frame to get back into the match. He's won that with a break of 70, but he still trails by 3 frames to 2.
And Ken Doherty proving and indeed showing the former world champion that he's still capable of scoring heavily in this game. Speaking of which, same situation on the other side of the table, because in the frame that's just been completed, here's Stephen Hendry making a break of 73 to add to his efforts of 89 and a contribution in frame 2 of 100. It was 773rd century of his career. So that's the situation. Hendry has gone into a 4-1 lead in this match over Stuart Bingham. And I'm sure that's just a miss there, but not to worry. And Stuart Bingham, I've got a lot to think about against the 7 times former world champion. Now let me just talk about the Ken Doherty-Neil Robertson match. I've talked about the importance for Ken of showing Neil that he's still capable of scoring heavily, and that's got to be a must in any match against someone like Neil.
It's the key factor for me. I've mentioned earlier today that is the most important thing of it, is scoring. Because honestly, tactically, there isn't too many people better than Ken. We didn't call him crafty for nothing.
Indeed,
So he knows his way around the table, always has done. But ultimately, when you create those chances, you've got to score. And today he's won 2 frames in the one visit.
Yeah, and more importantly, actually, showing himself he can score.
Yeah.
Because the confidence he's going to get from all of a sudden responding properly, I think is invaluable. We know full well nobody can really outplay Ken tactically. We know he's a great winner of frames he shouldn't win. He